Hello students. Today we are studying Unit 4 and a new topic inside it, that is creating coherence. I am not sure if you have come across this word coherence in the past, but it's time that we must understand how important this word is for any kind of basic writing. Let's understand the word first of all with just understanding a particular situation. You people might have come across some kind of written article or any kind of content in which you are not able to follow what the writer is trying to say because the ideas or the things that are mentioned by the writer in that particular article is jumping from one to the another. Like, for example, usually we start any kind of story or conversation in such a way like, first of all, this thing happened. Second, I saw this thing. Third, it went like this. So everything is going in a flow. But sometimes you will find that for writer it might be going in a flow, but as a reader you will find that everything is so jumbled, everything is so confusing and not clear. It seems as if after the first sentence directly the fifth sentence is written, then the third sentence and then the second sentence. So all these things makes a paragraph a really confusing one. Fine. Then what will be doing such at such kind of situation? So if we use a proper method of coherence, we might avoid such kind of breaking of sentences and illogical connection of sentences. So what is a coherence? So coherence in writing is a logical bridge between words, sentences and paragraphs. In a way, if we use coherence, coherence act like a logical bridge. What is important is this word logical. It is very easy to connect words, sentences, and paragraphs, but it is very tough to connect these words, sentences, and paragraphs very much logically, and that's why coherence. Coherent writing uses devices to connect ideas within each sentence and paragraph. So you might be a bit confused about what actually this coherence is. Coherence is something that could be seen and that could not be seen. How is it possible? So when you are using certain kind of devices, when I say devices over here, it means I'm talking about certain words. So when you use certain words or certain devices which will help you to connect the ideas or some thoughts which we are talking about in one sentence, and this will help you to carry them in the next sentence also. Let's say, for example, Raj and Ram are best friends. However, they fight often. So, see, if I have used the word however in between, what has happened? I have connected the first sentence with the second sentence. I am not connecting them by joining them. But what am I doing? I am using the word however in the next sentence, in the beginning of the next sentence. But whatever I am talking in the second sentence is logically connected with the first sentence. That Raj and Ram are best friends, however, they fight often. Okay, so this way we can feel very well that if I'm saying they, I'm talking about whom? Raj and Ram, and these names are given in the previous sentence. So if you want these sentences to connect properly and logically with one another, you need to put some kind of devices in between. Main ideas and meanings can be difficult for the reader to follow if the writing lacks coherence. If I talk directly, however, they are fighting often, never listen to the teachers. Ram is short tempered. Raj is bit annoying. Ram and Raj are friends. So, see, if I arrange my sentence in such a manner, what will happen? You are not able to grasp the idea or the meaning, what is being said by the writer. So, main ideas and meaning can be difficult for the reader to follow. Why? Because there is no coherence. That is, there is no logical connection between the sentences. They are not arranged properly or they are not connected properly. So, coherence can be found between words, sentences, and paragraphs. Okay, when you want to connect words, at that time also you need coherence. For example, I will say Ram and Raj. I will never say Ram but Raj. I can use to connect sentences. I give you an example, and it can also help you to connect paragraphs. Now, how connecting paragraphs? Say, for example, I am writing an essay on pollution. In the first paragraph, that will be an introductory paragraph, I will mention about pollution, what is pollution, where can you find pollution, how much drastic change it has brought. So I'm just talking about what pollution exactly is and types of pollution. Coming to the next paragraph, I might talk about all these types of pollutions in detail, like air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, and then I'm going to talk about the effects, the negative effects of pollution on the lives of people, and then at the end, I'm going to talk about how we can overcome these things. So, what is my essay talking about? It is talking overall about pollution, its definition, its types, its results, its solutions, and all that. So, this way, my paragraphs are logically connected. Supposingly, I begin my essay by writing directly about the types of paragraph. I begin my essay by writing about water pollution completely. Then I talk about the solutions, and then I talk about the problems. Then I mention about soil pollution and air pollution, and then I write conclusion. You will be so confused as a reader. So, to form proper coherence in paragraphs, we must follow certain steps. See, coherence between words. We are going to have a look at this step by step. First, we will have a look at how coherence could form between words. Then we will look how coherence could be formed between sentences and then between paragraphs. So, between each word, coherence can be created by parallelism. You have heard this word parallel. Parallel means something that is going together. It's not joint, but it is going together similarly. So, that is parallel. So parallel structure means using similar grammatical construction between words in sentences. Okay, it means whatever words you have chosen to make your paragraph or to make your sentences, the structure should be parallel. Parallelism is particularly important for words in lists. Now, this might be a bit confusing for you because you need an example to understand this. Let's see an example. If you're writing a list of things someone likes to do, then each activity in the list should take the same grammatical form. Okay, supposingly, I'm talking about those things which I like to do. What am I supposed to do? I am supposed to write them in a particular grammatical form. For instance, that is for example, if one verb in the list takes on ing, that is gerund form. If you're aware of gerund form, you must know that if you put ing behind a verb, it becomes a gerund. For example, come plus ing coming, jump plus ing jumping, dance plus ing dancing. So if you put an ing after a verb, you form it in a gerund form, like running. Then the other verbs in the list should also be in the gerund form. Okay. So if you are mentioning something in the gerund form, rest of the verb should also be in the gerund form. And incoherent structure would be to say, that is, example, Sarah likes to jump, running, and skate. So here you can see that we are talking about three activities. Which are these three activities? To jump, running, and skate. What is the problem over here? The problem is this jump is used with to. This is known as infinitive to. So it is to jump. So the next word should also be to run and the last should be to skate. Otherwise, you should make all three of them gerund by putting an ing after it. So the answer could be like this. So the sentence could be like this. Sarah likes jumping, running and skating. So all the three forms of these words are same. How? By making them gerund, by putting ing, ing, ing. You can write in other way round also. You can make use of to, like Sarah likes to jump, run and skate. Okay, because this to is used only once and it is applied to all three verbs. Okay, so Sarah likes to jump, run and skate. Otherwise, Sarah likes jumping, running and skating. So this is what I'm talking about, the grammatical form. So grammatical form should not change. So this is also a kind of coherence between the words. Let's talk about coherence between sentences and paragraphs. Coherence can be created between sentences through repetition and transitional devices. Now, what do we mean by repetition and transitional devices? Very easy. Whenever you want to show connection between the sentences, the sentence which was written first, then second, then third and fourth, otherwise between the paragraphs, a paragraph which was written first, as give you an example of pollution, and then the second paragraph, third paragraph. If you want to connect them logically, there is one method you can use is that of repetition, and the other method is of transitional devices. Repetition of words across sentences helps to reiterate the same ideas between sentences. If I am talking about air pollution in a sentence, in the second sentence, I will continue talking about air pollution. How? By repeating the word air pollution. For example, air pollution is one of the most dangerous pollution that we are facing today. Due to air pollution, we can see that people are suffering from various breathing diseases. So see, in the first paragraph, in the first sentence, I made use of the word air pollution. And then in the second sentence also, I use the word air pollution. If I use the same word again in the first sentence, second sentence, or third sentence, or maybe a pronoun which talks about that particular word, what will happen? There would be connection between the sentences. And that's why that is called repetition process. So, one way to use repetition to create coherence is to repeat the same word or phrase at the end of one sentence and the beginning of the next sentence to show how the ideas connect. For example, one of the most deadliest pollution is air pollution. Full stop. Air pollution has caused many breathing diseases. Okay, so I have used the word air pollution at the end of the first sentence and in the beginning of the second sentence. Similar example is also mentioned over here. Have a look. See, word formation process. Now this example is very aptly given over here because now studying in the second semester and studying English as a subject, you know very well that our first unit comprises of word formation. So word formation is a process to form new words. New words may or may not have the same meaning to the words they are formed of. So here if you want that first sentence and second sentence should connect, you can use this method. Here you might find that the word new words is used at the end of the first sentence and the second sentence again begins with the same words like new words. Okay, word formation is a process to form new words. New words may or may not have the same meaning to the words they are formed of. I hope you got it. What am I trying to say? So, this is called repetition. Repeating the words which are used in the first sentence, also in the second sentence to show a connection between both of them. The second method to form coherence between sentences and paragraphs is the use of transitional devices. Now, what are these transitional devices? If I talk about devices, it means I'm talking about some connectors or I'm talking about some conjunctions in a very easy language. Another way to create coherence between sentences is transitional devices. There are many types of transitional devices that show time and help ideas flow smoothly. Yes. So there are innumerable number of transitional devices that are used, but here we are showing very few, only those which show some kind of time or the way the action is taking place one by one or which shows the priority also. Transitional devices are like signposts that tell the reader what is coming up ahead. Exactly. They are working like signposts. Whenever you are driving on the road at that time, there is a sign sometimes you will find on the left or the right hand side of the or the left hand side of the road in which it is written bump ahead. So you know very well that right now I have to take control on my speed. Otherwise it would be written no U-turn. So you need to be mentally prepared that once you are going on this way, there is no chance of coming back on the same road. So this signpost prepare you mentally what's coming next. In the same way, when you find such transitional devices on your way to reading, you will come to understand that these are going to give you some kind of prediction or going to aware you what's coming next. How? Let's see. If we use the word therefore, whenever you are reading and you come across the word therefore, suddenly you will get an idea that now I am going to get some kind of reason or result. Okay. I was having fever, therefore I couldn't come. So you know that if there is therefore, you will find some kind of result after that. However, it shows contraction. Whenever you are looking at this word, however, Be ready that the next sentence will be the contrast to the previous sentence. Like I said, Raj and Ram are friends, however, they fight often. So, if they are best friends, how can they fight? And that also so often. So, these two sentences are completely contradict to each other. So, however, shows contradiction, yet also shows contradiction. He was not well, yet he appeared for the exam. Thus, also shows result. Okay, these are the reasons for so much of rainfall in Cherrapunji. Thus, we find rainfall throughout the year in Cherrapunji. First, later, then they show a very good logical connection. For example, if you are making a recipe, you can say first put all the contents in the bowl, later on freeze it, then put it out in the pan. So this way, using the word first, later, then, and many more like this transitional devices, you can show how your ideas are flowing very smoothly. So transitional words can be used between paragraphs also, and they can be used between the sentences also. I hope you got this point. Moving ahead to the last part, that is point of view. In short, it is called POV. So, some of the ways to create coherence between paragraphs include having a consistent paragraph structure and a point of view. Point of view is very important because point of view is a narrator's position in telling the story. Whenever you read any book, at that time, mind well, you will always be reading that book from three point of views. That whenever you read a story, let's say for example a fictional story, at that time it can be written in three different point of views. Let us see which are those point of views. The first is the first person point of view. That is, you will find that the story is written in the form of I. In this, you will find that the writer is telling story from his or her experience. Okay, like I was walking down the road. I came across a super coffee shop. I went inside. While I was having my coffee, I had a look at an amazing bookstore that was across the street. I couldn't control myself and I went there to read a book. So see, whatever the writer was feeling that we have mentioned over here. So this kind of stories will be written from the first person point of view. Then there is second person point of view. That is, the story is told to you. The writer would be pointing at the reader. Now, this kind of POV or point of view is very common in factual books. Okay, this kind is not common in fiction. In imaginary books or imaginary writing, you will never find such kind of instructions. Okay, so like for example, there is a book in which it is uh, rich dad poor dad, or maybe it is about motivation. How can you win? You can win by Shiv Khera, in which they are constantly motivating you by telling you can make your schedule, you can have the confidence of doing the work, you can overcome all the hurdles. So this you type, that is, this kind of books are highly motivational, and they always point of view that is at the reader, and they are telling you what to do. Then at the last, there is third person point of view, and third person point of view is mostly used where the narrator is telling the story from the third person's point of view. So it is not experienced by the writer himself or herself, but it is experienced by someone else. Like for example, the same thing that I told you with the first person point of view. Ramesh was walking through the road. He saw a super coffee shop. He went inside and had his coffee. Meanwhile, he had a look at the bookstore across the road. He couldn't control himself and he went there. So, here the writer is narrating the story from the third person's point of view, what that character is feeling, what that person in the story might be feeling at that time. So, this is the most common point of view in commercial fiction. That means most of the fiction that are sold in a large number or in a bulk, in that you will find the third person point of view. The narrator is outside of the story. Yes, narrator is not part of the story, but is relating the experiences of a character. Okay, so remember, whenever you start writing anything, first make up your mind in which point of view you are writing it. You cannot jump from the first person to the third person and then second person. You need to clear up and make up your mind before you write anything. And only in this way you will be able to make some sort of coherence in your writing. I hope this topic is now clear to you. and very easily you will be able to implement these things that are taught to you in this topic today. And these are the things that will be asked in the examination also. Some important questions that might be asked in examination is what is coherence, give some of the examples, some of the methods of using coherence. That is, you can also mention in examples some transitional devices, repetition methods, and so on. So, this is it for today. Keep studying and keep understanding what is being taught and keep revising. Have a nice day.